Do you have any deep questions that you ever think about, but that you just can't talk to other people, or that you usually just keep to yourself? But that'd be cool to talk to somebody about. I'm like a psychologist, and I studied a bunch of deep shit. So like, hit me with something. Hit me with something crazy. Show me your crazy side. I want to know the craziest shit you think about while you're alone.
I think about some pretty bad stuff because I've been dealing with depression
Let's
since
get
like
at it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's go to the root.
what the fuck do I say?
So depression in general, what is there any like triggers, particularly major triggers?
I don't know.
What are you depressed about? Like lack of motivation or like vision of something?
Well, I got diagnosed with depression from a breakup. Like, it's been just over a year now. And it fucked me up. To the point where I was harming myself, got into nicotine, partying, just all the bad shit, just not drugs.
Where are you at with that right now? So that was a year ago. Are you still doing that mostly?
I'm not harming myself. I haven't done that since October, but that was for a different reason that kind of fucked up my mental health even more.
Okay.
Like, my family's from BC. We went to BC for a week after almost 4 years of not being there. And I don't know, we came back and I got really homesick. I'm not even from there, it's just my family.
You're from Alberta?
Yeah. And I harmed myself and stopped eating. Within 4 months, that was the end of September, within 4 months I lost 40 plus pounds and now it's at 50 plus.
You're like under 50 plus right now?
I don't know, I think I look pretty much the same, but when I went, I think I was like 180 something. Which it didn't look like that at all. It just because I have fucking curves. But now it's almost at 130.
Is there a healthy weight that you'd like to be at? Like if you could be any weight when you snap your fingers, would you be like, what would be a healthy middle ground to that? That'd be a goal.
I mean, I think right now is a pretty good weight because I keep on going back and forth to 144.
How tall are you?
5'6".
Okay. You don't know like what the average person of 5'6", how much weight they are?
You know, that's hard to say because I feel like it depends more on like the curves that you have.
I feel like if you looked up 5'6" average weight for girls, that would be a good indicator. And then you just know for you kind of how it would be. And if you were to say like get a calorie tracking app or something, would that help? Or do you feel like it's mostly because of like the motivation or like mental aspect of not wanting to eat? Like just being able to track it wouldn't really help much. No? What do you think about affirmations or things relative to positive self-talk? Have you ever looked into any of that, or do you find it hard to implement that if you have?
It says average is 123 to 156.
Okay.
So I'm in there, but sorry, I was reading shit. What did you say?
Have you ever tried or like messed around or like thought about your self-talk, like how it usually is versus what would be a nice place to be at?
No.
Because there's things that you could fall asleep to even. Like I have one on my channel, which is a thing relative to like programming yourself into being confident relative to being smart, like being a genius. And there's other playlists just like that about things of like confidence or for anxiety particularly that you could sleep to, and just by listening to it you'll be kind of relating to it by hearing those words, so that could help. And the frequencies will just calm you.
I mean, with me in my entire life, I've always been like falling asleep with like white noise.
For sure.
Like when I was a baby, I would sleep through a vacuum, and now I have to sleep with the furnace on, or I always have my fan on at night.
Yeah. There's always noises in those too. I had a fish tank when I was younger, and then so now water, like the creek, is the babbling brook. That's my favorite one. Yeah.
My webcam recently broke, and it was going nuts. Like, it probably woke up neighbors. It was terrifying. But we had another one with the same thing, and it seems iffy. But if that one breaks, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Because I need to have the white noise. I also have a heat pack in case I get really fucking cold from it.
Oh yeah. And I mean those would be like lifestyle, environmental kind of factors, but also getting at the root of the problem. Like most depression comes from memories that you can't stop thinking about that have some sort of negative association to it. Is that what you'd say is the main thing?
Maybe.
It's like thinking about things that bring you back to an annoyed state, or like, I mean, there'd be kind of that, like holding on to the past, or there'd be fear of the future.
I don't know. Ask the psychologist that examined me. I don't know.
No, I'm asking you because you're the only one who'd know. It's your consciousness. Like when you get sad, what is it being sad about usually? Like when you get depressed and you're like, I'm depressed right now, very clearly. What is it usually going on in your head?
I would be thinking of 2021, and then I would get depressed.
What aspect of it, if you were to zoom in?
What do you mean?
2021, the relationship. What aspect of the relationship that it was so good and then it ended and now you feel like you don't have the support with it, or that it broke up in a shitty way and that frustrates you?
I was with a bunch of people last night. This guy, he was really bad. Like, he treated me well, but he was a manipulating narcissist. And I have a disability, and we didn't know what it was at the time, but he still knew that he could use it against me. Like pulling the victim card. He would control what I wore, or at least tried to. Make me block everyone. But we were talking last night, and like every girl has one guy in their life where like you don't know why, but they have so much power over you, and nothing can change that. And this dude has that power over me.
Still.
Like, if he were to come back into my life, I would drop everything and go to him, even though he was not the best person.
And that is something that is relative to what you're talking about? That freaks you out?
I don't know. There's times where like I'm hanging out with people and he's showing up. So that fucks me up. I get migraines from just making eye contact with him. And it's fucking weird. So like after I get home, it kind of fucks me up for like a week. Trying to get better, but migraines and shit just started from just running into him or seeing him in public or anything.
I could see how self-confidence or having more control, like, you know what I mean? Like you're saying that you feel like you have to be like, you know, he's the superior when you're around him, or like there's some sort of connection that's unspoken that you feel like you have to agree to while you're around him, and if he just puts himself in there, you feel like kind of out of control.
You have to be careful with explaining shit to me because I won't understand it in certain ways. I have a disability.
What disability?
You know what cognitive is?
Yeah.
I have a cognitive disability.
Cognitive means brain, like thinking.
Yeah.
What kind of cognitive disability? You're not sure?
I'm not sure, no. He said that he can't think of anything like specific thing, but like I asked him if he thinks I have dyslexia. Like, no, because that's pointed towards reading and writing, you have a lot more going on, like everything.
What types of things do you have trouble with?
Well, learning for one. Normally you need 100 credits to graduate. I only needed 80.
Learning in what way?
I don't know, in any way.
Like retaining information?
I can't work. I can't drive.
Why can't you drive or work?
Because I won't understand it. Psychologist said it's like he highly recommends I don't do it, and I respect it because I know as soon as I get behind the wheel, I won't know what to do.
Huh.
I'd be the person to get the R and L tattoos on my hands and have to think of what the word is for those letters.
Wow, that's interesting. Cause like, there's something really important there, like a mindset key that if you didn't have with the condition you have, or whatever, like you want to say your mindset state is, like if you don't have self-confidence, that is relative to everything. And having labels, no matter what kind of label it is, can really fuck with your self-confidence. And
The government, like, we're getting set up with the government, and we're like, they pay me instead of having a job, and they're going to be sending me to school for a program to put my brain into the fullest capacity as like any other normal human being. But I don't really give a fuck about that. They don't need to change me because people don't notice it unless I mention it. I don't need it like defining me.
right, but they just have a system in place for helping in their eyes the best they can in the most like widespread way. But what's important, which you probably know, is that you develop yourself to as best of a person as you can be with the mental capacity that you have, right? Like, I don't know if you think that everything happens for a reason in life or not, but everybody is born different. And I think that no matter what your situation is, you can have like an optimal timeline of reality, or like a situation where you're using all the skills you have maximally, and you don't need to worry about the other shit. Like, even if you had good skills or capacity in the other things, you're doing other things. You're doing this shit, and that can be relative to what you're doing. And you don't have to not work when you're older because you have disabilities in these areas, because you're probably, this is quite likely too, very gifted at a particular range of things, because you, like, people who are blind are really good at other things.
I am gifted with certain things, just not like school type learning.
For sure. Like art. What would that be?
I sketch, paint, do photography, and sing. But
Hell yeah. Yeah, I love a lot of those things as well. I sing as well.
mainly art.
Yeah, I think like the more you follow those things that you know you're naturally gifted at and contribute to people with, I think the more blessings will come into your life in the other ways, and the less anxiety that could possibly happen from the future. And if you'd be thinking about those things, that help you not think about the things from the past that are holding you down. And that also allow you to not have to feel down on yourself about the other things that particular people with authority over you now, or the government or whatever, says that you're not good at. Like, those thoughts are really easy to creep into your mind and mess with how you relate to the world. And I think that could make sense. What do you think about that? Like, how much you spend thinking about that shit versus if you spend a ton of time making more projects or whatever, do you think that would help in like having your brain there?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I haven't really been into like any of my hobbies for almost 2 years now, so even though it's supposed to help with like depression and shit.
Yeah, I mean, if you're here to experience things and to contribute, do what you're passionate about, right? And a lot of people don't know what they're passionate about. It's pretty hard to do that, but it sounds like you're really good at making things which are beautiful, whatever type of art it is or whatever frequencies you make, you know? So I would say focus on those as much as you possibly can and just become as obsessed as you can. Even if other people feel like it's weird that you're thinking about it that much, just know that that's what you need to do if you wanted to do it, because I think it'd be relative to other things.
Well, I graduated last year, and my only class I had was art, and it was at the point where, like, I had to work in the office because I had, like, 7 missing assignments or something, and I was gonna fail and not graduate, and I was, like, a week away from grad, and I almost did not graduate because of depression hitting me in the ass and not letting me, like, be inspired to do art and shit.
For sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm going to keep rolling because I want to get a sub goal by the end of the night. But it was so good talking to you, and I hope that, yeah, I was useful to some extent. I tried my best to give my perspective on that, and I hope that you do find what inspires you and what can drive you to feel like fulfilled and not have to worry about those shitty thoughts, no matter where it's coming from. Sorry?
Let's hope that'll happen soon.
I mean, you know, you'd rather crawl and then figure out how to like walk on your knees and then kind of like walk and then run than just chill out on the floor and do nothing forever and then get like stepped over and shit, you know? Any momentum's better than no momentum.
I'm wanting to work in the future. Like, I had like this one goal since grade 4. So let's hope I can do that.
You can do it if you believe you can do it. So much of the world is mental. Your thoughts create your actions.
It doesn't have to do with like me. It has to do with like if the government thinks I'm able to.
It's not completely true either. Like, you can still do things on the side or sell things online or do things for friends or family or local people, you know? Definitely don't feel like you're a pawn of somebody else's game, because you are the shit. You are the hero of your own journey, and when you start thinking like that, it'll actually happen. Word up. That's how I think, and that's what's happened. And that's what tons of people I've helped have happened for them. But yeah, it was great meeting you. And if you ever want to reach out, like you want to talk about anything, I'd love to hear you out for sure and help in any way I could.
Okay, well, I added your snap, so
Awesome.
that's something.
For sure. All right. Well, have a good night.